Hi, my name is Nate Sprunger, and I'm a prosthetist and one of the clinical educators here at Phil Motion Control. Today, we're going to talk about the Taska Hand, specifically the features that set the Taska Hand apart from all the other multi-articulating hands out there. We're also going to talk about the new features with the Taska Hand Gen 2, which has been released and is available for purchase from Phil Motion Control. The Tasca. Tasca has several unique advantages. We're going to talk a lot today about robustness, what makes the Tasca hand the most robust multi-articulating hand out there. I also hear a lot about water resistance thrown around in this field. The Tasca hand is truly waterproof, submersible, past the quick disconnect and into that wrist unit. We're also going to talk about ease of use. The Taska hand is a very easy multi-articulating hand for the user to become accustomed to. They're able to jump right in and optimize the functional benefits and grips using the buttons on the dorsal part of the hand, even if the user is not capable of those EMG trigger grip changes initially. Let's talk about activity intensity. When we talk about ADLs, the Tasca is capable of handling a multitude of activities. Everything from light ADLs, such as cradling a baby, think working in the kitchen, fine motor activities, fine motor skills needed to manipulate small objects and tools, things like that. Taska hand, again, we can use it to grab objects that we want to work on. A good example here is holding a loaf of bread. Moving up one of those medium activities, working with hand tools. And then moving on up into even higher intensity activities. This really is going to open the door to using power tools. That being said, the Taska hand is not indestructible. I always like to say, treat the hand as your own. There are certain activities that are going to be too much, just like all of these terminal devices that we're used to. Hanging off a cliff, in this example, running a jackhammer, probably going to be too much for the hand. Let's talk a little bit about waterproof and dustproof. This is the world's first and only waterproof myoelectric hand at this point. It is rated to IP67. That rating is a waterproof and dust rating. Waterproof, submersible for 30 minutes to 1 meter. This really is a great benefit to this hand. Being able to wash and disinfect our hands is extremely important, especially now. Healthcare workers really were early adopters of this hand. Combined with exam gloves, it really makes it a good choice for them. Also mechanics, again, we can use it in dusty environments. Think working on a farm or in a field, maybe in a factory. Again, the user is able to wash and clean that hand at the end of that day. One of the things I was really impressed with early on was the resettable knuckle release. We've all fit multi-articulating hands in the past, and one of the biggest issues we've had are digits breaking, right? Whether it be on accident or maybe doing an activity that's just a little bit too intense for that multi-articulating hand. Taska addressed this issue with the resettable knuckle release. Breaks into both flexion and extension depending on where the hand is in its range of motion. These resettable knuckle releases are in all digits, including the thumb. Very easy for the user to reset these digits. If they do break away, to protect the hand, the user simply just needs to reset the hand using that power switch. Okay, so just power cycling the hand will simply reset all of those digits. Impact resistance. So many of the vibration and impacts will be absorbed by the Taska hand. It's going to minimize damages from impact, but there's a lot of cushioning and impact resistance built into the hand, into the fingers, the thumb, the wrist unit. This is all going to reduce vibrations in the socket and really prevent those forces from being translated into that residual limb. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this is really going to open the door to using those power tools, drills, think lawnmowers, rototillers, certain activities like that. Compliant fingers. So let's talk a little bit about compliance here for a minute. The Taska fingers have a lot of compliance built into them. I'm able to splay those digits apart. It really allows us to wedge and place small tools, utensils in between there. For instance, spoons or think small wrenches, and I can really place them into that into that web spacing and close that hand and clamp around that object, okay? Again, the compliance in the hand and in the fingers is going to absorb those shocks. And it's also going to make the hand a little bit more durable, resistant to those impacts during those higher intensity activities. One of the grips I want to talk about just briefly is the Flexi tool grip. With that Flexi tool grip, it's a great grip where I can, again, put tools and utensils, put this into the hand in a way where I can get 3-4 points of contact. The example I'm going to use is just a simple steak knife, and I'm just simply going to place that in between the second and third digits, and I'm going to ensure that the base of that tool or knife in this situation is placed under the base of that thumb. When I close around this hand, it's really going to grab that knife, okay? And you see I have a good 3-4 points of contact on that. And it's really going to make that almost impossible to slip, okay? Just a great feature, and again, shows the compliance in the digits in this hand. Let's talk about confident gripping for a minute. Taska has flexible fingers. They're going to conform around objects. The Taska Hand also has a full finger curl. It's able to pick up and really grasp those very small cylindrical objects. A mechanical pencil, for instance, I can put that in there, and I'm confident that it's not going to slip out. It's also able to conform to many awkwardly shaped objects. So if you're interested in more information on the Taska Hand Gen 2, or if you feel you have a patient that this would be a good fit for, please reach out to customer service here at Philauer Motion Control, philauer.com, or taskaprosthetics.com for more information. Thanks for joining this presentation, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.